President Trump will end the radical left's reign of terror in Portland once and for all. The president has directed Secretary Hegseth to provide all necessary troops to protect war-ravaged Portland and any ICE facilities under siege from attack by Antifa and other left-wing domestic terrorists.
The White House also reviewing what aid it could potentially cut off to Portland, Oregon, after protests turned violent outside the ICE facility. Some demonstrators throwing punches, burning the American flag. The local ICE chief says that they have been targeted, I should say, every night for at least 100 straight days. They've been dealing with this on the ground there. Let's bring in acting ICE Director Todd Lyons. Director Lyons, good to have you with us today. It's interesting. There's this DHS FBI warning, joint bulletin that was issued that says that the memo assesses that since June, extremists in at least 3 states have conducted targeted, pre-planned violent attacks against ICE personnel and facilities. Says the attacks represent an evolution in tactics and escalation in violence compared to domestic violent extremist past attacks, which primarily resulted in property damage. What's your assessment of the threat that your folks face, and in particular with what's happening in Portland?
Hi, Martha. Thanks for having me again. Yeah, it's extremely high. I was just with you last week where we were talking about the sniper attack, and it just shows that the increase in threat and violent acts is just getting worse. The men and women of the Portland office, they really can't even go out and do the ICE mission. We have Homeland Security Investigation Special Agents guarding the buildings, deportation officers out there guarding the buildings, because they can't go out and get actual criminal aliens or actual public safety threats because they have to guard our property. We had this back in 2022. Antifa took siege of our building. We were under siege for more than 200 days with Antifa. Now we're 100 days into this. They're showing up with shields, rocks, helmets. They're masked all night long. And that's all we're doing is a constant battle rhythm of dealing with these left extreme protesters that are assaulting officers every night. And it's getting worse all around the country.
So here's what the Portland mayor, Keith Wilson, said in response to National Guardsmen being sent to Portland. He said the president will not find lawlessness or violence here unless he plans to perpetrate it. Imagine if the federal government sent hundreds of engineers or teachers or outreach workers to Portland instead of short, expensive, and fruitless show of force. Your reaction to that?
I really wish the Portland mayor would actually go out there at night when the sun goes down and actually see what's going on at our facilities. And it's a constant every night. We always call for local and state support, yet it never shows up. But I do find it funny, though, the past few nights, we've seen a small contingent of Portland police officers out there making some arrests. And it's only after President Trump has shown the willpower to make sure that he's going to protect the men and women of ICE that all of a sudden we're now starting to see some support. But it's too late at this point. The men and women of ICE and our other federal partners have truly been under siege, like you said, for the past 100 days. And it has to stop. The threats and the violence against ICE officers is just too much right now.
Let's pull this up. This is the Memphis crime update. I spoke earlier with Senator Bill Hagerty, and he feels that the Memphis protection effort on the part of the federal government has helped to make Memphis safer. And here's the list of total arrests: 153, firearms seized 48, illegal firearms seized 21, and Thursday arrests 60. Your reaction to what's going on in Memphis and, obviously the other places where federal help has come in to try to make the city safer?
I think it's a great effort that the president has done, because what it's showing is he's actually listening to the American people. There are so many communities around the nation that are just, bogged down by crime. And it's the regular, everyday citizens that are seeing these effects. Showing that stat right there, showing 48 illegal weapons seized. That's 48 weapons that could have killed innocent American lives by gang members, human traffickers, all sorts of actors that are in Memphis right now. And, I think it's a great thing that so many federal partners are coming together and helping the Memphis Police Department and the Tennessee State Police to actually make an impact on Memphis and make it safer. We saw that in D.C. Yeah. We saw crime rates lower and these arrests of these violent criminals. There was children that were rescued. On the ICE side, we made tons of criminal illegal alien arrests that had been wanted for so long that were hidden by sanctuary jurisdictions. So I think this federal partnership will make a serious impact in Memphis.
So Portland, gives their crime numbers as lower, homicides dramatically lower, rape down, robbery down, aggravated assault. So these are the numbers that they're presenting to bolster their side of the argument that they don't need this extra help. What do you say to that with your folks on the ground and what they're seeing there?
I would just say, look at the video or come out at night and see exactly what's happening to the men and women of ICE, right? See exactly what we have to deal with every day for just trying to enact the laws that Congress has passed, just trying to do a law enforcement mission. Yet they're threatened, they're assaulted, thrown rocks, Molotov cocktails, everything under the sun being thrown at them. Yet day in, day out, they hold the line and they're out there doing their law enforcement mission. I would just ask people to go ahead and actually look with their own eyes and see through the bluster and actually see what the men and women of ICE have to deal with.
Yeah, I just want to mention to our viewers that we have two different things going on right now. We're working on some breaking news that they are going to want to hear about, both in New York and also with regard to the president's 20-point plan and Hamas. So just stick around because we're working on getting that verified for you moments away. But while I have you, Director Lyons, I want to ask you this. Apple has removed the app that is called ICE Block. And the investigation shows that the sniper who targeted the Dallas facility last week used this app to find out where ICE was. How dangerous is that app? And, what's your response to the fact that it won't be available anymore?
I think it's a great step by Apple. I wish other platforms would do the same. That it's an actual law enforcement fact that if you put an app like that in the hands of someone that's an extremist, the field office director in Dallas said it best. It's like giving a hitman a map. The men and women of ICE would be targeted by these known apps. And you don't see apps against the FBI or a local police department showing where they are. It's only showing the men and women of ICE against people who don't like the ICE mission. And that puts the men and women in danger every day. And I think it's a great move on Apple, especially after the fact that it's now the FBI is able to reveal that app was used by the sniper in Dallas.
All right. Todd Lyons, thank you very much. Director of ICE. Good to have you with us as always, sir. Thank you very much.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Kilmeade. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to click to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page. This is the only way that I know for sure that you're not going to miss any great commentary, any great news bites, any great interviews coming your way on Fox. You can get it all here on YouTube. So subscribe right now.